Good afternoon, day 1:30. It is Wednesday, April 16th. I believe what today is 1:30. Um, just of course got off work. Got to start that at every video. Just heading back home. Today was a typical day. Nothing much. Can't complain, of course. Um, One thing I was thinking of. Of course, with these videos, I just talk whatever's on my mind. Uh, I guess let me backtrack. I'll probably end that. No. Okay. So, kind of just one thing, fresh my mind. Uh, what's it called? Bumper guard, the front grill guard for my truck. Um, well, I was wanting to. So my got to start the story right. So my dad he installed one for his truck, a bumper guard. Was it like 2 weeks ago? But he had to kind of like custom make it. Not cut. It wasn't like the correct one for his truck, so he had to kind of like weld some stuff together and whatnot to get it to work. But it worked, right? And then the thing is, I've been wanting to have one be installed for my truck, and we have a bumper guard in the back in our backyard, but it was for a different, bigger truck. I'm not say bigger, but for a larger size truck. And I was wanting to. I was like, well, if he can, makeshift it, then maybe it could work for my truck. But I was checking it out. I was looking up some videos, like installing it and everything. The way it's set up for that bumper guard is different. It's not. I'm sure you could probably weld some stuff together and everything. I don't know. It's not. It's not. In order to like kind of do some makeshift stuff, like try to get it to work, it's gonna be a lot more work. So that's why I was like, yeah, because like for my Tacoma, you have these like bars that I guess you got to take apart some section underneath it, and it slides in there, and then there should be like these rails that you screw it into the sides of. But I remember looking at the other one, how it doesn't have like a railing. I have to double check. From what I remember, it doesn't have railings. It has like kind of like a side piece, like two side pieces. They're like side. They're facing sideways. Then you can see where you put the bolts through. So it's structured differently. So instead of being like where the frame is, like if the frame was not facing straight, but like kind of like a wall, and then you just screw it on top of that. But how it is, it's like sideways. I don't know. I mean, obviously I saw it from a video, but I want to actually see like the frame how it looks like to kind of get a better picture. But I'm pretty sure it's not really compatible. Uh, but I was like, my dad was like, just buy one and I'll help you install it. Which I'm like, that's true though. Like installing it's not going to be cheap if I were to take it to some place. Obviously, if I buy it, I would definitely want to install it myself. But I don't know, my thing, and granted, because I got in a sort of like hit and run many years ago. Like the first year I got my truck, right? They scraped the right side of my bumper up front. So I was always wanting to get one like the full body one, but those are like 2 grand plus versus just like the front ones that just for the front and then just kind of like the headlights, protect the headlights. Get a typical, not just like just the very. There's some bumper guards that are just like for the very bottom or something like very minimal, and the other ones that kind of like like the front and like extends out to like the headlights. And those aren't too bad. Those are like $500, $600, right? Those are much. That's more reasonable for me to buy one. So I'm like, I may just get one. I mean, and the reason too is like for my truck, I got as of right now, I think it's like 2 years maybe a payment. I don't know. I have to I'll do some recalculation, spend some time, but I think it's been like it's like under 2 years, right? I've left to pay it off. So, and I mean, to be quite honest, I got offers from like the dealership, the Toyota dealership that I bought it from, like offering like, hey, we'll upgrade it and blah blah blah, you know. But you know, it's like okay, because I mean, for the miles, like one of them they sent it was like a 2023, and it was like 30, 40. I think it was like 30 something thousand miles. But then if I were to turn that in, I'm back up to like 20,000. Like I owe under 20,000. I think it's like 14, 13,000 right now. So if I were to trade that in, I'm back up like another year. I mean, the whole point they're trying to is just like keep you. I mean, that's how they make their money is, people keep keep paying on their vehicles. And to be quite honest, if I was making more money, I would probably just do that. But I mean, for me, with how I make, I'm just keeping the vehicle at this point because it's kind of one of those things where you know it's not really your truck if you're close to paying it off and you just trade it in. I mean, obviously some people do that, but I mean, for me, it was just yeah. I mean, you got a newer truck, but well, granted, like because I have a Tacoma, I've heard like the newer Tacoma models aren't like they have certain issues which can be very costly. So even then, it's like I may just stick with mine because I mean I already changed out like like for like the shocks, the brakes, and everything. I already changed out spark plugs. Like I've always constantly changing out the oil, gets oil, synthetic oil. Um, I mean I've been keeping up with the maintenance for this vehicle, so I know it's in terms of maintenance wise, I've been keeping up with it, right? Uh, so I know like from what I've been doing with it, it's gonna last me a while, a long time even. And it's just one of those things where if I'm gonna keep it, you know, because like end game, I was wanting to get because I was wanting to get a Tundra. That's for me. That's end game because I have a Tundra, but it's an '07. Well, it's like almost 200,000 miles. Granted, it runs fine. After doing some maintenance some time ago, it runs fine. Just I don't use it. Right, but like that one, I would definitely want to upgrade it. Like trade it in for. I mean, it's paid off and everything, but like so that's end game. Like that. Like for me, like end game would be like I got a Tundra, I'm good vehicle wise. Like that's my baby at that point. But that's gonna be some. Unless like I've still been trying to search for another job, but just nothing's been really interesting me. And that's the thing. Like if I were to make more money, well, I mean, like I said, that was the end game goal there. Just in terms of vehicle wise, obviously for me, like just being realistic. And then you know, for me, like just going back to the bumper guard and everything, I was like, if I'm gonna keep it, I'm I'm wanting to get the bumper guard ever since the accident, which been since I got this truck. Like, why not? Uh, Sorry, yeah. It's traffic up ahead, but there's a dump truck here that I was trying to like bypass, but left lane is going like the same speed, so I was going to try to pass it, but never mind. I'll just go back to my old lane. Um, but I was like, well, I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna keep this truck. Really, like trading it in, unless there's some issues. But I mean, I'm probably gonna have this for many, many years. So like spending, $600 for like the bumper guard, just because it looks nice, and in case I ever get in an accident or something like that. Well, I'm sure that's gonna help me out. But it's more like honestly, aesthetics wise. Mm, but I'll think about it more. But it's leaning towards it. And then um going back to truck trunk on and then leaning back to what I was going to think of earlier, right? So today may be my last gaming day for a while because my Xbox membership is ending Friday and I'm not renewing it. And me and my buddy, we've been trying to beat this one game that we have two maps. It's called Human Fall Flat. We have two maps left, and we've been on those two maps for like the past 2 weeks now. And the issue is because my buddy Johnny, he has some sort of glitch to where he is unable to play the game, or like, yeah, just even play the game by itself, single player even. So we've been kind of just like soft locked until his game works. And then even my buddy Fila, his game does the same thing too, not as often, but it has done it before. So today's the last day because my buddy Fila, his brother's coming over, so he's not gonna be available Thursday and Friday. So today would it's the last day really, like for all three of us to be playing something, right? So I was like, well, hopefully it works. If not, well, it is what it is. Because because the last time we had the option to play it, it was I offered us to play just one map just because it was already late. So I was like, look, we can play one map, and then we just have one map left. But they both declined, or rather to just knock out both at the same time. I'm like, okay, well, we just got to both be on, make sure everyone can join in, right, and have enough time to do it. But we have not met those requirements since then. So today is the last day. So we'll see tonight. I I don't know. I mean, I hope it works. If not, it is what it is. But but this is gonna be a little bit longer video. So I'm not going. I guess I'll go into the reason why I'm not renewing it. Is thing is, I've been. It's not like I don't know. I don't know if the words. Not I'm not burnt out of gaming. It just like for me, like I feel like gaming is kind of as of right now, it's sort of kind of a waste of time. Obviously, it's not a bad thing. It's just like for the situation I'm in, the circumstances I'm in, I feel like it's kind of a waste of my time in regard to like for me, the next step right now is getting to a higher paid job, right? That opens up a lot more doors for me, right? Once I make more money, and like ever since I've been trying to get a new job, I've gaming's kind of been something I just been trying to put to the side, and so I've just never had the same like like I'm never like kind of fully invested. You know, there's there's always something like, man, I could have been reading, or I could have been jotting. And at the end, that's a more of an excuse, but like, I don't know. It's like until I find a new job and like start making more money, then at that point, like once I'm starting to sell in, then yeah, like I'm fine going back to gaming, because at that point, like I kind of hit my, I guess, quota, really, like and what I wanted to do. So at that point, I'm more like, I'm finally more focused in gaming. But until then, I'm just kind of not truly invested, right? Um, so that's why I was like, funny enough, I renewed my Xbox was Game Pass for another month, because we were playing Valheim, and I was wanting at the time I was wanting to keep playing it. Unfortunately, some things happened. So they were of course wanting to play Human Fall Flat, to beat it. So I was like, look, I'll renew another month, so we can postpone that for a little bit, and play Valheim. Unfortunately, my buddy Phila's PC got bricked, and hopefully his brother this week can figure out what's the issue and maybe fix it. But until then, no PC games, right? For all of us together. So for me, it was like, well, I just kind of want to just like, it's a temporary thing. I don't consider it to be like a permanent like stop gaming, but it just, I'm not fully invested in that anymore. For it's been what, maybe 2 years? What, 2 years since I kind of like lost like the full investment in it. And granted, I mean, a lot of it's on me, right? It's up to me in terms of finding a new job, but it just, my thing in terms of like the job market, I don't know what I'm really looking for besides a higher paying job, right? Like obviously not something outside, just because like for me, it's not that I can't handle the heat. It's more just my dang near disability of migraines, because I cannot. It's hard for me to work when I have a migraine, and I have a higher chance of getting migraine in the heat outside. So just one of those things where like what I do on a day to day basis. Luckily I'm inside for the most part. If not, um, even if it's outside, it's not a long period of time. But even then, I still get migraines. Like I'm starting to get migraine right now, or earlier today. I have to take some medicine. So let's say an office job, okay? But like, I don't know, like what I studied for was business administration, right? I started out going to college for the IT. I think I don't even know what, like, it was just in computer, like I think it was computer science. I think that's what it was. Just because I like technology, so I was getting into that. Let's just say that didn't work out, and I went to business administration all the way up to university to get my bachelor's for it. But I don't know, like after working where I'm at now, being a manager, just hmm, I don't know, like I've always had something for like IT, like technology. That's always something fascinates me. But obviously, like, as of right now, if you were to put me in that field, I'm not very educated. But it's one of those things too, like reading for me. I know, like back in my head, it's more like, what's the term? It's not. Oh, like it's not. This is definitely not the right word, but it's like an excuse to me not. Yeah, yeah. I guess like me reading. I don't hate. I don't dislike reading. It's learning stuff. But it's kind of like me. I use reading instead of like, because for me, if I instead of reading, I could have been job searching, right? But I don't know. I know back in my head, I'm kind of using it as excuse like, oh, well, I'm reading, so I'm not like looking for a job, like job searching when I could be reading, right? Something along the lines like that. You just like when I look at, every time I look for jobs, either Indeed or LinkedIn, I just go through page after page after page and just okay, I'm like, okay, this is a high paying job. It's just whatever field is in, I'm not interested or I'm underqualified. And it's been, man, since I started to have the mindset of like looking for a job, I've only applied to one place and got denied. Um, I went to the interview and everything, and just obviously got the rejection. And I've never applied anywhere since. Or granted, I should be, even if I'm not qualified, I should at least be applying. And you never know, I may still get the job, right? Just for me, looking at the job description, it's like, man, like I don't really have the hard skills, to be able to do it. Granted, I mean, a lot of people don't. They just, they might have some, or they just use what they experience wise from the previous job or their current job to mold into, getting the hard skills in that job, right? But I mean that's the thing that's kind of like holding me back is myself not, you know, finding maybe it's not even the perfect job. I never thought of being where I was at today, job wise, right? So it's just a matter of just finding something, and once I get it, then at that point, work on myself. But at that point, I'm making more money, so option wise, well, it opens a lot more doors, right? That's the thing I'm looking for. But obviously, I can't open the doors till I start applying and start doing interviews to possibly get a new job. Um, so, but like because of that, going back to like gaming, I've not been fully invested with it. So I've been trying to like put that to the side for the time being. Um, and obviously, like my friends, like Johnny and Phil, I've never told them any of that stuff, right? Unless they were to watch the video, which I doubted. Um, they just assume I just got tired of playing with them or this and this and that. And it's like, no, it's more something in depth, deeper than that, way more deeper. Definitely not because of y'all too. Um, uh, and then, well, so there's that, right? I know it's 23 minutes right now. So there's that. But then there was something else we were talking about. Uh, so our buddy Trent, so he got back from Norway. He got back from Norway was last Thursday, but he never said anything about it, which was, I guess, what he told what. Well, when we were discussing it, they were like implying that was odd. I'm like, yeah, maybe, for me, I'm like, well, we probably got busy with work. I mean, he just came back from being away for a few months, so he just probably got busy with work. But I mean, it is true though. He hasn't said anything or like, hey, like let's play something, this and this and that. And the thing is, before he left, it was kind of like, I mean, I'm sure I have it in one of the videos, but it was kind of like a sour taste because, was it February? We were, I forgot. Oh, it was Super Bowl. Super Bowl, whenever Super Bowl Sunday was, right? 2025, of course. We were, we were watching the Super Bowl and everything, and afterwards, then we, pretty sure it was Super Bowl. Afterwards, we were going to play Guard Theft Auto because I was really want to play that field too. So even before we loaded up the game, like things were already going south. I'm pretty sure I went in detail, but let's just say the whole experience was just scuffed as heck, and things just, yeah, it just ended off very, very badly between all of us. Um, and then later on, he of course went to Norway, but I mean that kind of left a very, well, it didn't kind, it did leave a very sour taste in the whole gaming relationship. So it was kind of like, okay. So I don't know what's the situation with my buddy Trent in terms of. I want to say he hates us, but maybe upset or a term along those lines, right? Just kind of, obviously I don't know the details unless I talk to him or ask him detail, but um, yeah, he hasn't said anything like, hey, let's play something, or like, hey, maybe let's play this week. Nothing, right? Or he hasn't even said it. If it wasn't for my buddy Fila saying something like, if he was back, or how he said no, he said how was the weather over there, and the trainer was like, oh, I'm back. I've been back here since Thursday. I was, whoa, what? Okay. He never meant, never said anything like that. Granted, we never asked, to be quite fair, but that was just one of those things where it's like, could he possibly be? I mean, like I said, we didn't end on great terms, so maybe until we reestablish the relationship again or strengthen it, it's still gonna be kind of like sketchy or just kind of like imbalanced. um, yeah, oh, yeah. Of course, there's that, but I just wanted to talk about that. But now the big question: what am I going to title this video? There was, oh, I was watching something earlier today. He said a quote. It was something about life. Like, what was it? It was something as you go with life, what was it? Like life. I can rewatch the video. Yeah, it was something like, oh yeah, yeah. It was about relationships. That's what it was. It was talking about relationships where it was throughout your life you're gonna pick up and drop relationships along the line you're gonna pick up and drop relationships as they come, but that's not a bad thing. Something along those lines, like, oh, ooh, spitting. So wanted to maybe tell it something along the lines there. Drop, pick up and drop relationships as we go. Uh, uh, relationships, relationships come and go. Maybe something along the lines like that. Relationships come and go. Yeah, that's a title right there. Relationships come and go. So that's going to be the title for this video. Till tomorrow. So take care. See ya.